I thought it was finally over me and my crazy ex after the divorce, but turns out it just all began buzz. Now I see his new GF posting pictures of my newborn baby all over social media, acting like she's the one who gave birth to him. Now he thinks I'm overreacting. Buzz, I'm dragging him back to the court. After finally divorcing Nathaniel, 34, male, I, 30, female, expected to relax and concentrate on being a mother to my newborn, Wesley. However, life had different ideas. Instead of enjoying these moments with my son, I'm caught up in one of the strangest and most frustrating situations I have ever faced. Wesley, or Wes, is just a few months old, and he is the best thing that has ever happened to me so far. I have full custody, but Nathaniel has visitation rights. He has not exactly been reliable about showing up though. Sometimes he skips his visits entirely without so much as a text, which fine, his loss. I have put my heart and soul into building a safe and loving home for Wes, and even with all the ups and downs I have kept it all together. A few months back, Julie, 25, female, entered the picture. Julie is Nathaniel's new girlfriend. She's young, energetic, and has that picture-perfect Instagram vibe that screams influencer wannabe. I met her once briefly when Nathaniel brought her along to one of his visits with Wes. She was polite enough, but something about her felt off. Like she was trying way too hard to impress me, which was weird because I did not care about her one way or the other. I did not give Julie much thought until a couple of weeks ago when I started noticing pictures of Wes popping up on her social media. At first, it was just a couple of photos, Wes in his stroller and Wes sleeping in his car seat. It was annoying, but I told myself to let it go. I figured Nathaniel had taken the pictures and shared them with her, which was annoying, but not worth making a big deal over. Then the caption started. One photo had her holding Wes with the caption, "Mommy's little angel." Another said, "Can't believe how blessed I am to have this little guy in my life." And the one that sent me over the edge, a picture of her holding Wes's bottle with the caption, "Late night feedings are tough, but so worth it for my baby boy." Excuse me, I was floored. She was acting like she was Wes' mother, like she had carried him for 9 months and gone through labor to bring him into this world. My blood was boiling. I immediately called Nathaniel to ask what the hell was going on. Predictably, he brushed me off. He said I was overreacting and that Julie just loves Wes. He actually had the audacity to tell me I should be grateful that she cares so much about him. Grateful? For someone trying to rewrite history and pretend my baby is hers? I do not think so. I told him to have her take the pictures down. He refused. He said she was not doing anything wrong and that it is not like she's claiming to be Wes's legal mother. I wanted to scream. He completely missed the point. Or, more likely, he understood and just did not care. I didn't stop there. People I barely know started reaching out to me, old acquaintances and distant family members congratulating me on letting go and letting Julie step up as a mom. One person even asked if I was still involved in Wes's life because Julie seems to have really embraced the role. I felt like I was living in an alternate reality. I told Nathaniel I didn't want Julie around Wes. It was not a decision I made lightly, but after everything I had seen on her social media, her pretending to be Wes's mom, the invasive posts, the fake captions, I could not just ignore it. I explained to him that her behavior was disrespectful, inappropriate, and harmful to both me and Wes. This was my son, not hers. She had no right to treat him like a prop for likes and attention. Nathaniel, of course, did not take it seriously. He rolled his eyes and acted like I was being irrational. He said I was jealous and bitter, that I could not handle someone else stepping into a motherly role for Wes. Then, he dropped the bombshell. According to him, Wes was not just my child, he was their child too. He said they could do whatever they wanted with Wes, including taking pictures and posting them online, and I had no right to interfere. He told me to get over it because Julie was not going anywhere. The way he dismissed my concerns was infuriating and heartbreaking all at once. I called my lawyer to see what my options were. She said that while this is uncharted territory, I absolutely have a case. Posting pictures of Wes without my consent is a violation of my rights as his primary guardian, and the captions could be considered misrepresentation. My lawyer advised me to take Nathaniel back to court and address this formally. So that's what I'm doing. Of course, Nathaniel's furious. He's been calling and texting nonstop, alternating between yelling at me and begging me to drop the case. He says I'm being petty and jealous and that I am just trying to cause drama. He has even tried to guilt-trip me, saying I'm wasting money on legal fees instead of putting it towards Wes. Typical Nathaniel, always trying to deflect blame and make himself the victim. Julie, meanwhile, has doubled down. She's posting even more pictures of Wes, and now she's adding hashtags like bonus mom life and my baby boy. I have blocked her, but mutual acquaintances keep sending me screenshots. Here's the thing, this is not just about the pictures. It is about boundaries and respect. Julie is overstepping in a massive way and Nathaniel is enabling her. I am worried about what this will mean for Wes as he gets older. How do I explain to him that some woman was pretending to be his mom on Instagram? My friends have mixed opinions about this. The majority think Julie's behavior is pretty creepy and out of line. But a couple of them believe I'm making too big a deal out of it. They have told me to just brush it off, block Julie, and move forward. But I cannot just let it slide. It feels off in so many ways, and I will not let anyone change the story of my son's life. So now I'm gearing up for another round of court battles with Nathaniel. I hate that it has come to this, but I don't see another option. This is not just about me. It's about protecting Wes and making sure his life is not turned into some Instagram fantasy for Julie's followers. But I keep second-guessing myself. Am I being unreasonable? Should I just let it go and focus on raising Wes? Or am I justified in taking Nathaniel and Julie to court over this? Ida for taking legal action against my ex and his girlfriend over my child? Update 1. I received multiple comments asking for some backstory on me and Nathaniel and why we got divorced. So here it is. Nathaniel and I met each other back when I was in college, when we lived next door to each other. I was 21, trying to balance my classes, a part-time job, and all the typical craziness of college life. He was 25, super charming, and pretty much everything I thought I wanted in a guy. We started off with casual conversations in the hallway and bumped into each other at the coffee shop close to our apartments. Before I knew it, he was asking me out. He was incredible back then, the kind of boyfriend you would expect to find in a rom-com, super thoughtful, always paying attention and endlessly encouraging. He would show up with coffee during my late-night study marathons, organize adorable weekend trips when I was feeling overwhelmed, and had a knack for making me laugh. He felt like the perfect guy, the one who really wanted to have a future with me. But now that I think about it, I realize I fell for the version of him he wanted me to see, not the real him. After I graduated, we moved in together and a couple of years later, he proposed. I was over the moon. At the time, it felt like everything was falling into place. We got married in an intimate ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family, and I could not wait to begin our lives together. The first few months were great, just like I had always imagined, but gradually he began to change. It did not happen all at once, but now that I think about it, the warning signs were definitely there from the start. At first, he was just a bit controlling in small ways. He would ask about the details of my plans with friends or make little remarks about my spending habits. What started as little concerns turned into full-blown arguments if I did not do things his way. He always had to be in charge, whether it was deciding where we went for dinner or how we spent our weekends. I tried to brush it off, telling myself it was just an adjustment period. After all, marriage was supposed to be a partnership, right? My parents were never fans of any of the guys I dated before Nathaniel. They always found something off about them. But Nathaniel was a whole different story. They loved him right away and he seemed to tick all the right boxes for them. I started to think that if my tough-to-please parents liked him, then maybe I was just overthinking everything. He seemed like the perfect guy to them, so I ignored all the warning signs and pushed my doubts aside and convinced myself that I had finally found someone who matched everyone's expectations. But the longer we were together, the more controlling he became. He criticized my choices, tried to alienate me from my friends, and made me feel like I could not do anything without his approval. I felt trapped, but I kept convincing myself that this was just a rough patch. I thought if I worked harder, if I loved him more, things would get better. Everything fell apart. About a year ago, I found out I was pregnant, a total surprise. I was not sure how Nathaniel would react, but I was hopeful that this baby might bring us closer together. Instead, just days after I took the test, I discovered he was cheating on me with his mother's friend of all people. It felt like my entire world came crashing down. When I called him out on it, he did not even try to deny it. He just said our marriage was falling apart and that he wanted something new. That night, I packed my bags, moved out, and my parents took me in. It was not just the cheating. It was the awfully painful realization that the guy I thought I married was never really there. When my parents found out Nathaniel cheated on me, they were heartbroken. They had always liked him and thought he was the right guy for me. They felt guilty for not seeing who he really was and blamed themselves for supporting the relationship all along. When I went into labor, Nathaniel was not even there. I had called him as soon as the contractions started, hoping he would step up for once, but he did not bother to show. Instead, he made some excuse about being busy and told me to keep him updated. I went through hours of pain and exhaustion completely alone, bringing Wes into the world without any support from the person who should have been by my side. It broke my heart to realize that, even in the most important moment of our son's life, Nathaniel could not be bothered to care. It was like he had already decided Wes was not his responsibility, and I was left to do it all on my own. Update 2. Hey, back with an update. I want to start by thanking everyone who supported me and gave me advice after my last post. It has been a wild ride, but things have definitely been moving forward, so I figured I would give you an update. Since filing the case against Nathaniel and Julie, things have been quieter than I expected. Nathaniel has not visited Wes at all, not once. It has been weeks now, and I honestly cannot say I'm surprised. I've known for a while that Nathaniel has not been the most reliable when it comes to parenting, but this just confirms what I have been feeling all along. It's like he's completely checked out of his responsibilities as a father. He has made zero effort to spend time with Wes or even check in on him. His excuses have been thin at best, and frankly, I am not sure he even cares to try. But here's where things take a turn. A friend of mine sent me a screen recording of a video Julie posted on her Instagram story. At first, I was not sure what to expect. But I could not have been prepared for what I saw. Julie was on camera, crying her eyes out, looking as dramatic as possible. She was claiming that Nathaniel's evil ex-wife, me, had kidnapped her child and was not letting her see her baby boy. Yes, you read that right. She was accusing me of kidnapping my son, Wes. I could not even process what I was hearing. She was crying, talking about how terrified she was, how she did not know what to do. Her followers were commenting left and right, offering advice, telling her to call the police and file a report. It was also out of line. Not only was she continuing to pretend to be Wesley's mother, but now she was claiming I had taken him from her. She made it sound like I was the villain in this whole situation, when in reality I was just trying to protect my child from her invasive toxic behavior. I will not lie. I was really furious. I could not just sit there and let her spin that story, especially since it was such an obvious play to twist things around. So, I decided to send the video to my lawyer. I was not sure how it would affect the case, but I figured it was proof that could help me out. My lawyer called me back a few hours later and she told me that this was exactly what we needed. She said it was solid evidence for our case and could be crucial in showing Julie's lack of boundaries and manipulation. She also said it could be used to further highlight Nathaniel's neglect and absence as a father. The video was not just about Julie's audacity. It was also about proving how far she was willing to go to make herself a part of Wes's life, no matter what the truth was. The moment my lawyer said this could work in our favor, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I had been worried that I was not going to have enough to really stand my ground in this case. But now it felt like things were starting to come together. I'm not just fighting for custody. I already have full custody. I'm fighting for what is best for Wes, and this is a key piece in ensuring he has a stable and safe environment away from people who are not even trying to do right by him. Now, I have got a bit of a silver lining. A lot of my friends, especially the ones who are skeptical of me taking legal action, are now fully on my side. They watched the video, saw what Julie had done, and they were disgusted. Even the people who thought I was overreacting before were now seeing the manipulation for what it was. My phone has been blowing up with messages of support which honestly feel like a relief. I have felt so isolated throughout this whole thing. So to have people backing me up feels like a huge shift. I was also shocked by how many of my friends pointed out that Nathaniel's absence was another big red flag. Not one visit in almost a month. No explanation. No effort. It has honestly been a blessing in disguise because it's making my case even stronger. If he cannot even be bothered to see his son, then what right does he have to any kind of regular visitation? My lawyer agreed. She said it would be hard for him to justify why he should not lose his visitation rights if he's not making any effort to be a part of Wes's life. This whole situation has made me realize how much I have been doing for Wes on my own. Nathaniel's absence is constant, and I have just had to adapt to it. Wes deserves so much more than what Nathaniel is offering, and I am doing everything I can to give him a stable and loving environment. It's not been easy, but I am doing it, and I have never felt more sure that I'm doing the right thing. Now, I'm just waiting for the next steps. My lawyer said that we have a very solid case and that this new evidence with Julie's video is going to help us tremendously. I'm moving ahead and it seems like everything is finally coming together. My priority is raising Wes and ensuring he's happy and healthy, and surrounding him with love. That is the update for now. I will keep you all posted as things move forward, but thank you again to everyone who has been supportive. It means more than you know. Update 3. It feels like every time I think the situation cannot get worse, Julie proves me wrong. After her first few posts trying to gain sympathy, I thought maybe she would get the hint and move on. But no, she went a step further. She actually created an entire account dedicated to Wes. She did not even try to hide it. She named the account something like Wesley's Mommy or something. Honestly, I blocked it out of my mind because I could not deal with it. I do not even know what to call it, but the fact that she felt entitled enough to create an account with his name on it is just plain creepy. And let us not even get into the photos she's posting. These are not just random everyday photos. She is posting pictures of Wes at my house from his visits with Nathaniel, even though I never consented to her posting any of them. What blows my mind is that she is doing all of this while still claiming to be his mother to the world. She's sharing these deeply personal captions about how much she misses her baby boy. how she is hoping one day she will get to be with him again, all while acting like I do not exist. It's an invasion of privacy. This is not just a silly obsession anymore, it is turning into a serious fixation. And I'm really worried about what she might do next. I had no choice but to step up and take this seriously. I have already filed for a restraining order against her, and I am adding defamation to the legal battle. The things she has said about me, especially the accusations of me kidnapping Wes, are not just outrageous, they are damaging. She's trying to paint a picture of me as some sort of unfit mother who's keeping Wes from her, but I know the truth. I have done everything to give Wes a stable, loving home. All I have ever wanted was for him to be safe and happy. And now, Julie is actively working against that. What frustrates me even more is that Nathaniel is just standing by and letting it all happen. He's not doing anything to stop Julie. If he cared about Wes as much as he claims, he would be telling Julie to back off, to stop posting about Wes, and to respect the boundaries we have set. But no, he's doing nothing. He has not even visited Wes in weeks. His absence speaks volumes. I'm honestly not even surprised anymore. I think deep down, I have known all along that Nathaniel has not been invested in being a good father, and this just proves it. The case now is not just about custody. It's about defending my rights as a mother and protecting Wes from someone who seems to have an unhealthy, almost obsessive need to insert herself into his life. I don't know how Julie got this idea that she could be some kind of mother to Wes, but I'm not going to let her get away with it. I have spoken to my lawyer about the defamation suit and she believes we have a very strong case. Julie's actions spreading lies, creating a fake social media account, and accusing me of things I did not do could hurt me and my family in ways that go beyond just losing custody. And if that is not enough, there is the whole restraining order which will give me some peace of mind, knowing Julie has no legal right to invade our lives in such an unhealthy way. All I want is peace. I want to raise Wes in a safe and stable environment, free from the toxicity and manipulation that Julie seems to enjoy so much. It's exhausting to have to fight this hard just to protect my own child. But I will not give up. I will not let someone like Julie take over my son's life and create this fantasy where she is his mother. She's not. I am. I am the one who has been there every step of the way. I'm the one who continue to be there for Wes no matter what. At this point, I just hope that the court sees the truth. I want them to understand how serious this situation is. Julie's obsession is not just disturbing, it is dangerous. I need to make sure that Wes is never exposed to this kind of manipulation and that Julie faces the consequences for everything she has done. If Nathaniel cannot even be bothered to step up and protect his own son, then I will do whatever it takes to make sure Wes is safe. I'll keep you all posted as the case progresses. Thank you so much for your continued support. It means more than I can put into words. Update 4. Hey, long time no update. The case is finally done and I cannot express how relieved I am to have it behind me. I have wanted to share an update for some time, but life has been quite busy, mostly in a positive way, thankfully. Let me start with Nathaniel. His visitation rights were up for reconsideration, and to be honest, it was not even a contest. Nathaniel barely showed any interest in visiting Wes, and that just made everything so much easier for me. The court really took that into consideration. When someone is clearly neglecting their child, it does not exactly help their case. Nathaniel did not even put in any effort to fight for his son, and I think the court saw that for what it was, a sign that he was not willing to be the father Wes needed. That was honestly a relief. I had spent so much time worrying about what his presence in Wes's life would do, but in the end, it was clear that Nathaniel was not really present anyway. Julie, on the other hand, was another story. She fought so hard for Wesley's custody and I just could not wrap my mind around it. I mean, it made no sense. She was not even in a position to fight for him. She had no legal grounds. She was literally just trying to insert herself into his life in whatever way she could. It was wild. What made it even worse was her attempt to play the role of a mother figure for Wes, even though she hardly knew him. Julie's whole case was built on a fantasy she imagined, and luckily, the court saw right through it. They did not take her seriously at all, and in the end, Julie was mostly overlooked. It was a bit sad to see her put in so much effort for something unattainable, but it was reassuring that the court recognized her manipulative actions. But the biggest win, by far, was that we were able to get a restraining order against her. That was something I did not even know I needed until it happened. I cannot even explain how much peace of mind it has given me to know that she has no legal right to contact me or be around Wes. Julie was overstepping in so many ways and now she is legally forbidden from doing any of that. Honestly, I do not know what would have happened if we had not gotten that restraining order. The last thing I wanted was for Wes to be exposed to Julie's obsession, but now I know that I have the legal backing to make sure she stays away. On top of all that, Julie had to face some pretty serious legal consequences. The defamation lawsuit we filed for her accusing me of kidnapping my own child actually went through, and it felt so good to hold her accountable for those lies. Julie really tried to destroy my reputation just because she could not have what she wanted, and the court saw it for what it was. I cannot believe she had the audacity to claim I kidnapped Wes, but I am glad I did not let her get away with it. That lawsuit was not just about the damage she tried to cause, it was also about protecting myself and making sure she could not get away with destroying my life with her lies. It is crazy how far people will go to make themselves the victims even when they are the ones causing harm. In a surprising turn of events, after all of this, Julie faced a huge public backlash. Once people started realizing what had actually happened, everything from the accusations she made about me to the way she had been using Wes for sympathy, her social media following pretty much vanished. It was honestly a bit poetic. Julie had built her whole image around being the loving stepmom to be, and once the truth came out, she lost 90% of her followers. People saw her for what she truly was, and it did not take long for her to lose the support she had. In surprising news, Nathaniel and Julie have ended their relationship. It seems that after recent events, Julie understood that Nathaniel would not provide the ideal family life she had hoped for. From what I learned, Julie wished for Nathaniel to be a great father figure for Wes, but Nathaniel was not ready to take on that role. He did not want to play the role she dreamt of, and Julie was finally faced with the reality that he was not going to give her the family life she had been hoping for. I'm not going to pretend I care much about their breakup. It is really not my business. But it is good to know that Julie is not in Nathaniel's life anymore. She's no longer in the picture, and I can focus on raising Wes without her trying to insert herself into our lives. As for me, well, there is some good news on the personal front too. I'm kind of seeing someone now. It's still early and I'm taking things slow, but I'm really happy about it. The best part is that he is someone I have known for a long time, so there's no pressure to rush into anything. We have been friends for a while and he knows everything that has happened with Nathaniel and Julie, so he has been super patient with me. He understands where I'm coming from and he's not pushing me into anything I am not ready for.